But look at these.
A short hatchet there.
Look at these right here. This is like a little chisel or even a gouge. See what I'm saying? That's a different. That's a different tooling mark.
Completely.
And here,
chipping away at it.
Here we have two different tooling marks, and this tells part of the story of the changes that went on with this place, right?
Yes.
Because it went from originally being a barn house in 1840 to being just a whole house in the 1860s, and then around 1910, 1920, they turned it all into just a barn.
So reverted just strictly to a barn.
It was put back to just agriculture, and that's when they made a bunch of changes that we're trying to figure out.
Some alterations that may or may not have been entirely original.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Just like this right here. This timber right here, we reused that because that was in there when we took it down. But that had been a replaced timber somewhere back in 1900. You can tell a couple ways by the wood species. This is hemlock. The rest of the frame is oak. And so we chose to use it because it was part of the history of the whole evolution of the building.
Right, and it works too.
And it works, but you know they had. So to put that in there, they just cut the tendons off. So we're in the process of rejoining this stuff. You know what I mean?
And remarrying it together as seamlessly as it was before, anyways.
Well, this is actually better than it was before because before there was even a bigger gap there.
It was split in half.
So we added this, but we wanted to keep the original. You know.
So it's like you said before. These are like at least two different trees that were quartered and broken up to form these end tops.
So that was one log. You can imagine they took that log, they split it into 4 pieces, and then they cut those 4 pieces and shaped them into these little tiny pieces. Now, this is crazy stuff. I mean, we do timber framing all the time. You don't find this stuff anywhere. You know?
No. This has got to be. Are there a few pieces that are truly unique? You know, like you haven't seen it. Yeah, this being it, really. Yeah.
Nothing. I've never ever seen anything like that. And just the way that they do this stacking. You know, why they did it exactly like that? It was just the way that they did it in Germany, right? These guys were right off the boat. After they built like this, and they saw the way the Americans did it, then they didn't keep doing it like this. You know what I'm saying?
And that they changed their styles.
They quickly adapted more of an American style.
Huh.
But like right here, if you look at this, you can almost see this is a human arc. Somebody was standing there going like this, and then it went like that. You see? And when you stand back here, you can see it.
It's a methodical chopping. It's almost machine-like, except that it's done by human hand. So you see the randomized marks still and everything.
And you see the actual arc. And then here, they came back and went back this way because they're trying to get it roughed up to hold the plaster.
Oh, right. So it would create a firmness or a purchase.
Yes.
Really for the
for the brown coat, for the base coat of the plaster.
And that's what we're seeing with these 2 layers here.
With those 2 layers right there, you're seeing the base coat, which they call a brown coat, and then the skim plaster. Now, we don't know if that's from the Civil War period. That I think is probably original. You know what I mean?
Right.
From the 1840s time, because if you look, when you look around here now, all the hatcheting. This was the human side of the house barn.
This is the human side here, facing the front.
That has all the hatcheting.
And this
is the animal or the hay, the barn side over here.
Which is a full open space.
It's open now. It may have been lofted, but you don't find all the hatcheting on the inside of the timbers.
Huh.
Even though I say that, and sure enough, in that corner, there's some hatcheting going on. Well, there doesn't appear to have been plaster there. So maybe some of the pieces they hatcheted before they put them up, other ones they hatcheted after they put them. You know, that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to look at and trying to figure out.
as you're going along, but it looks like it's figured out enough where the outside framing is understood, and it's being boxed in. But it's the littler things probably in the inside structure, smaller details that we're still trying to puzzle back together again. Yeah.
Here's a big detail. We think that opening right there used to be over here, and they changed it when they made it into just a barn. Right, because that has that framework, and we know that's just the way it was when we took it down, because we marked everything. So we're putting it back up the way that we took it down, but then while we're putting it back up, we're saying this frame had gone through some other changes that we didn't anticipate or see before. Right? Because
right, like the ones you were talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the clue on this. See, it's like the frame is the artifact, right?
It is. It is.
These right here are from where there was a door, right? That insert right there is for a hinge or for the door. Right, and there's one there, and there's one all the way over here. There's actually two, one for the top and one for the bottom. Right?
Oh, all right. So the door is probably on the outside.
Right, but
and
the width of this can't be for the human side.
No,
that's
larger than
the barn size. But it's moved over here into the human part. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And then over here, we're gonna put another beam in there. But there was nothing there when we took it down. This was the big barn side, the big door side for the barn.
Oh,
follow what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah. And
so the barn had a big door there, and the barn had a big door, slightly smaller, but still bigger than human size, opening here. So we tried to recreate the framing here, so we can, put a door in.
Right, and as you get, so that's all. Yeah, I'll come out. I'll come out. Wow. So this whole building finally dates back to the 1840s.
1843.
1843, and our museum dates to 1848. And this is, of course, a reproduction stall back there.
This is older.
Oh, because it's from, of course, the Erie Canal period, somewhere in Lockport, 1820s. Right. This is the edition that we're looking at, by the way.
This is the story, Wilma Lass.
The part in front is the older part. Yeah.
Wilma Lass.
Oh yeah.
She's the one who told me that that they actually came and stayed in this cabin the first winter that they came here. They didn't have any place to stay. There was like 30 people or something like that stayed.
Oh, 30 people were crammed in that main front room. Yeah, absolutely.
For that one winter, because they had nothing. They were looking at starvation.
They really were, and this was a donated house to begin with from the Lockport Hunt, Mr. Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Now was it? Was Hunt the big land developer?
Yeah. It was. He had leftover wooden houses and accommodations from the Erie Canal days up there, and he gathered all that together and was requested upon him by people that he knew to bring those materials, and he donated everything out this way so they'd have something to work with at least for the first year or two until they got more buildings constructed of their own. But that helped him get through that winter time, yeah.
Right,
in that first year, yeah.
And
it was a hell of a donation because it saved everybody, or as many people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so this is the first one that they built as their own people. What I'm saying, like as their own people. And this is, you don't find anything like this in America.
No.
Other than this, and maybe one or two in Wisconsin. Because this is exactly how they would have built it. Just like all these little notches. This had frock work in it, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
That had the dwaddle and wob.
And marriage together like that.
In between. So when this was first made, these timbers were exposed. Right?
Oh, okay, right.
That's what these marks are. Those little holes right there.
Oh, I see.
Okay, like a little stick would go up into that.
Okay, oh well, these holes. There we go.
That's what I'm saying?
Right.
So you see this right here?
And these would line up like that and be plastered over
Well,
in the half timbered mode.
Yeah, what they would do is they would take it and they have it so they were flexible. This one would flex out, that one would flex in, this would flex out, and then they would put the straw and mud in between, and then this would be exposed
To the elements.
Right, and if you look at that, that's why this is weathered.
It's been facing the elements for decades, literally.
Well,
but it's so strong and solid that
yeah, but
what
I think happened though is that when they made this all into a house, they covered it with wood because this climate's different than Germany.
And the siding, well, like a board and batten siding.
Probably, I would guess it would have been a horizontal siding. We're putting vertical siding back on it, board on board, 2 layers of 1-inch boards is what we're going to be putting back on it.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like what I was saying with the marriage marks, right?
Wow. Just the marriage marks alone are.
They have a whole crazy pattern. Like you see right here.
So that's another one.
It's
there.
like a flag and a stroke. And here, a slant, a flag midway, and number 2. And up there is a slant, a flag, and the number 3. You see what I'm saying?
So a second beam,
Right.
first independent beam, etc.
For this bay on this side.
And on this side in particular, yeah. Exactly.
And then they pass this through it. Right?
Right. As they were moving along. Wow. And it's a singular piece. It just goes all the way.
Yeah. But see, when we got it,
the way
this was all
up
rotten.
to there. Yeah.
You know. So we replaced that. We saved as much as we possibly could. And then I'll show you like the coolest thing on this. And so this is the southeast corner of the original house, which made a big deal. You know, because that's where they would reference the house, so that the southeast corner is close to where the human door would be. So you have the sun. You know, you can get the sun early in the morning.
So you can see as early as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see they're bringing in these other beams.
And to be warmer.
And see, so they're bringing in these beams to continue the rafting process along the back there.
The rafters, right?
Yeah.
Right. And these
really
rafters
impressive.
sit on those little tiny blocks, and then they're tied into a purlin tie into the purlin beam. Those are
All right. Right. And those things over there are at the top.
Yeah.
To hold them together, yeah.
Right, they're at the top plate. That's what those little blocks are right there.
Oh, very good.
Now, so every single piece would have had a marriage mark on it. Some of them have gotten worn, you can't really see them.
Others have definitely stayed on.
Yeah, but they were all scribed in, right, with like a race knife. But it's hard to see. It's hard to see sometimes the difference between the race knife and the chop. You know, these are the hewing marks,
and that's
a race knife.
That's a race knife mark.
Right there. Now look right here. This is the only timber, and this is your southeast corner, that has race knife marks on it. Now those race knife marks right there may correlate to the layout of the building.
Like they were sort of mapping it out a little bit.
Right, because if you look right on that diagonal piece, right above that, there's a whole series of daisy wheels. All right, you know what a daisy wheel is?
I don't know. No, I don't actually.
Well, it's like if you take a compass and you make a circle, right? And you go from the center of that circle and you make another circle, and you go from the center around, it makes what they call a daisy wheel. There's a pattern of daisy wheels on there that could be a particular pattern that correlates to the dimensions of the building.
Oh.
Right?
Right. So
can you see it right there?
It would all have to add up. Exactly, right in there.
Right over here.
Yeah, right in there, yeah.
Well, we're going to move one more.
Yeah, we'll stay here, but yeah. Okay, where they're grieving it out and opening it up. Right?
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things that we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Here it is. That's the only place on the whole building that there are any. It's on the southeast corner. That's an interior wall, and yet it doesn't have the hatcheting. And Wilma was saying that sometimes they'd have a cabinet or something in there, and that's probably why they didn't have that hatching, because they were never planning, they were never going to. And that tells the story of the house. Right?
And of this particular house, because of course nothing was ever copied or mass manufactured like this.
Yeah, they may have built houses just like this in right there. Look at those.
Oh, all right, there we go. Yeah, yeah.
And the number of them and their positioning.
So these daisy wheels, everybody. You can sort of see them. Let's look closely.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh,
All right.
there are the marks from the other marks.
Feeling adventuresome? Well, I'm stoked. I can't wait to see it.